Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my garden. I'm so glad that you're here. Y'all, I'm just piddling around in the garden today. I came out here to do some harvest. I need to harvest some lettuce for dinner. And then I'm gonna see what else I can harvest. I did a harvest of the green stalks a few days ago, but I want to see what I have to harvest down here besides the lettuce. So I thought I would take you along with me. I hope that your day, your week, whenever you see this video, is going well. If you are new, welcome. I am in Zone, Tennessee. Not Zone, Tennessee. I am in the state of Tennessee in Zone 7B. So drop down in the comments below if you're new. Tell me what state you're in and let me know how long you've been gardening. And for those that have been here for a while, thank you so much. So y'all, it is the weather. Got to give you a weather update. Y'all, it's raining again. And the forecast shows it's supposed to rain for the next 8 days. No sunshine. No sunshine. So it's just been dreary and blah all day. And you know, sometimes you just don't even feel like coming out because the sun's not shining. Sometimes you need the sun. Today is one of those days that I needed the sun. So what else I've been doing is, y'all, I still have all these plants left over that I have not sold yet or given away. So I was out here trying to organize and, like, instead of having like 5 in one tray, put them all together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. I have one more tray left, but I have 5 trays already filled up. You can see here is where they are. Mostly tomatoes. Tomatoes, zinnias, sunflowers. That is what I have left. Lots of them. Like, I almost just want to start me a whole nother garden bed. But I don't want to put tomatoes in a raised bed just because I don't want to have to go through the thing of trellis and all that stuff. But y'all, I grew a lot of tomatoes. But okay, that's neither here nor there. My woes. So let us get us a basket and let's get us some lettuce for dinner so that we at least do the main thing first before we forget. And oh, I also want to show you some of the first blooms of some of the stuff that we planted out for the summer. So let me grab a basket. This lettuce looks so good. So we're gonna take some to have in the house because we're out of lettuce in the house. Plus, this needs to be harvested anyway so it can continue to grow. Nothing like fresh lettuce from the garden. I've been getting it from my GREENSTALK instead of out here. So since I gave the GREENSTALK some love last week, we'll get some lettuce out here for this week. This should be enough. So lettuce likes cool weather, and so it's a great crop to do in the spring and the fall and the winter, depending on how cold it gets. So lettuce is good up to 20 degrees. If you live in an area that's going to get consistently colder than that, then it's probably going to not make it unless you cover it up with several layers. So we try to grow lettuce pretty much all year round. In the summer, I switched to more of a heat-resistant variety. So the variety that I use is Muir, M-U-I-R, from Johnny's. It is a heat resistant and it'll last here if I do what I'm supposed to do. You know, it'll last through the hot summer months. I think this may be the Muir. I don't even remember because I didn't label it. But I think I had switched everything out to Muir. So I think this is what it is for sure. So we got us a bucket of lettuce to take in the house. So next, I have some dill that can be harvested. So let's harvest some dill next. Okay, look at my carrot top bouquet. These are all the carrot tops. I cut the carrot tops while I'm down here because it's just easier to manage taking them into the house. These I will either compost or put in my freezer for broth later on when I'm making vegetable broth. So definitely save your carrot tops. You can eat this. This is edible. Like I said, you can make a pesto. I've never made a pesto out of it because I have plenty of pesto from the basil that I grow in my garden, but you can. Or like I said, you can save this to put in your freezer for when it's time to make broth. It'll give it great flavor. So this is my carrot top bouquet. So let me set that down here. And then this is our harvest. We got one side dill, the other side carrots. Now, I decided I was going to pull carrots to give it some more space. And these carrots are not they're medium size, but they're not as big as the ones that I did in the fall because I got lazy. So let me just tell you the backstory on the carrots. So on the carrots, I typically do Bolero. That's the brand, not the brand. That is the variety that I like. So on carrots, I typically do Bolero. That's the variety that I like. I get it from Johnny Seeds. And I like the pelleted seeds, which pelleted seeds have an inorganic coating on it. And so it makes it easier for you to sow because you can actually pick up one carrot seed and sow it at a time versus carrot seeds themselves are really, really small and tiny. And so it's hard for you to just plant just one. So you have to like broadcast sow. So when I did my carrots in the fall, I used the pelleted seed, but I was out of it. And so in the spring, I was not going to do more carrots, which I'm glad I did. The Lord know it. But remember, I don't know if you were here, but I kept saying, the Lord just kept pressing me to do more carrots. And I'm like, but Lord, I don't need no more carrots. But I obeyed and followed the Holy Spirit, which is good. You should always do that. And I'm glad I did because I only had like 4 or 5 carrots left in my refrigerator. I had some big event and I used a lot of carrots and I used it for some other stuff. And before I knew it, my carrots were gone. So the Lord knew I was going to need more carrots. And then, y'all, I had a bag that I put in the fridge because, you know, I store carrots for up to a year. But in that particular bag, I think my husband was helping me that night and the carrots did not get dry all the way. It was too much moisture in the bag and some of my carrots rotted. So I lost like half a bag of carrots. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. But anyway, when I did the carrots in the spring, I did not have any more pelleted seeds. And so I didn't buy any more because the pelleted seeds are only good for a year. So I didn't want to buy them in bulk. And also they were out of stock. That's another thing. So anyway, I had Bolero seeds that were not pelleted. So I broadcast sowed them, but I never went back and thinned them, which is why my carrots are like this. The ones that I had in the fall were huge. They were probably 3 times the size because when you have pelleted seeds and you sow them individually, they have room to grow. If you're going to use non-pelleted carrot seeds, you have to go in and thin them or you're going to always get thin carrots like this. Now, is this carrot edible? Yeah, they're edible. They're just not as big as they could have been. But I started taking some of the carrots out just because it's so crowded in that bed with all the carrots, the dill. And then I forgot I had planted cilantro in that bed. I couldn't see it until I got some of the carrots out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these carrots. I think that's what I'm going to do, at least one row. I think I'm going to clear out one row of the carrots so that way it'll have some space. And then hopefully my cilantro will take off and then I can put some other stuff in the ground. That's what we're going to do. It just came to me. That's what we're about to do. Now, y'all, these carrots are bigger. Look how fat that is. How about that? These carrots are much bigger and they're ready. So I had been pulling like ones from the end, excuse me, from the ends, and they were looking like this. So I thought, well, let me give it a little bit more time, like 30 days. I know that they are crowded, so they're not going to be as big as I'm used to, but maybe it'll get bigger than this. So I was thinking they weren't ready, but y'all, these carrots are ready. We're about to clear this bed. We're going to at least clear one side, and that'll open up where we can at least put some other stuff in here. Now, but I'm not going to put tomatoes in this bed, so what else I got left, y'all? All I got is zinnias and sunflowers, and I don't want to fill up that bed. That means we might get to go buy some. I know you're saying, now, why would you go buy plants if you got plants? Because I don't want to put tomatoes in that bed because the tomatoes I have are indeterminate. They're going to need a trellis, and I'm not going to put a trellis in this bed. But look at that. Surprise, surprise. Oh, another thing, y'all. I am going to put a sink or a wash station. Somebody gave me this idea. I had some friends over and they were saying, as much as you do, why don't you have something to not like an outdoor kitchen, but maybe similar, but not like a big outdoor kitchen, like a sink where I can wash my vegetables. So I thought that was a good idea. I didn't even know that was a possibility, hadn't I thought about that. But I'm wondering, should I put one down here at the tunnel, or should I do it outside my house? Like when you go out my back door to the backyard, should I do it right there on that slab where the dog stuff is? What do y'all think? Give me your opinions. And then I got to think about the plumbing situation, because y'all know that's not my forte when it comes to like that technical stuff, building, construction. So I saw the sinks on Amazon. I can get a sink, but then somehow I have to get water to it. So I don't know if somebody has to come dig something or what. What y'all think? Let me know. I already got a whole bucket of carrots, just like that. When I tell you, I'm so glad I listened to the Holy Spirit, because it would not leave me. It was like, you need to put, because I had carrots in this bed in the fall and I was going to use this space for something else. And the Holy Spirit was like, you need to plant more carrots. And I'm like, at that time, I had like 3 bags of carrots in my refrigerator. I'm like, I'll be good until September. Like, I'm good. So glad I listened. So glad. Y'all, if you ain't get nothing else, obey. Obey. Now, let me go get the rest of these carrots before I start giving a whole devotion. So I got that whole row done, and now you can actually see my cilantro. I forgot I had even planted it there, and it actually is growing back. I don't know that I told you what happened to it, and before I even forgot about it, I got to tell you what happened to it. But look, my cilantro is there, and so I'm sure the carrots were probably shading it out, which is not a bad thing when it comes to high heat, because cilantro is a cool weather crop. But I definitely need the cilantro to grow abundantly, because I need more. So I had planted that cilantro and thought I had lost it, because I've had this happen before. I came out here, I planted the seedlings, and like 2 days later, it's like nothing had ever happened. Like they weren't there. So I don't know if roly-polies ate them. I don't know, whatever. But instead of me pulling them, I just left them there. And y'all, they have grown back. They have grown back. Why? Because food wants to grow. And so I'm glad that they're there. But I have not had a huge cilantro harvest. I did some in the fall and got one good harvest, but I need more to last me until I can plant it again, which would be in the fall. So I'm hoping that this will really take off. I do have some cilantro in another bed, but even in that bed, it's growing really, really slow. And so usually cilantro does really, really well. But I want to get it before the heat comes, because once the heat comes, it'll start to flower and bolt and go to seed. But I have like 1 jar of freeze-dried cilantro left, and I would like to have at least 1 or 2 more, preferably 2 from this harvest here. That'll last me at least until the fall, because I'll use that when I'm making salsa this summer, and of course all the things. So there's a cilantro. Didn't even know it was there. So I did that 1 row, and y'all, look, I got 2 baskets of carrots. 1, 2, just from that 1 row. Just from that 1 row. And I have a whole nother row, which means I'll have 2 more baskets. So I'm so glad that I did the carrots. And then I got the dill. So we have a bucket of lettuce, 2 buckets of carrots, and we got some dill. So y'all, I didn't tell you about the dill. So the dill we got, I did 2 different kinds. I did a mammoth dill, which I got those seeds from the Dollar Tree. And then I also did a Long Island bouquet deal. So I don't know. I think the Long Island is the lighter colored one, which is this. And then you have the darker one, but it smells so, so good. And y'all, only did, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dill plants, because last year I had an abundance of dill, and I still have dill left over from last year, because I don't use dill a ton. I'll use it like in ranch dressing, potato salad, potatoes, things like that. But what else y'all using dill on or for? So I don't need a ton, but I do grow it because I do want to use it. Now, ideally, I would love to put it like in my flower bouquets, but it always, I shouldn't say always, last year it went to seed. before the flowers came and all that good stuff. So anywho, but that, yeah, tell me what y'all doing with y'all deal. Like, help me get on the boat. Now the sun is actually about to catch me, so I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow and we'll finish what we started. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey y'all, it's a couple of days later. So I'm back down here on the same project, but I couldn't help myself. I pulled more carrots because when I came in, I was watering them and then they were just like all laying down and the bed just looked full and it was all on top of my lettuce. I couldn't see my lettuce. Any reason to pull them. So I just pulled like that one little section in the corner. I still got a whole roll up. But y'all, look at that. More carrots. And I took those carrots to the house from the other day when we harvested them, and I got 2 big old bread-sized bags of carrots. And I'm tempted to just pull the rest of them, but right now I'm not going to pull them today just because I'm out of crisper space. I got some other stuff in my other refrigerator in my garage that I need to get rid of. So I'm just going to let the ground hold my carrots for now. You know, people do that. They, especially in the wintertime, they'll just come out and pick out the carrots that they need instead of picking them all at one time and just let the ground continue to nourish them. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to take these in the house. So the next thing we're going to do is harvest our spinach and actually pull one of the spinaches up because it is starting to bolt. So let me show you. Y'all, this spinach right here is bolting. This is the spinach that's been in here since September, and it just started growing like in February, and I've already taken off, I think I've had 2 harvests off of this, but we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of it, and then we're just gonna pull the plant. If I leave it, it's just gonna bolt some more and get too bitter. So let's get it while the getting is good. Okay, y'all, so we got a basket of spinach, and I pulled those plants up, and then I harvested the parsley. We got a whole basket of fresh parsley, and y'all know last week I harvested a basket of parsley from my green stalks, and so I have a jar of parsley already freeze dried. I have a tray of parsley ready for the freeze dryer, and then I just harvested this. And y'all, this has been the first time I've been successful growing parsley. Now, I bought this as a transplant. I did not grow it from seed. But does parsley, I think it likes cool weather. Does it last through the summer? I'm assuming it doesn't, but y'all tell me, does parsley last through the summer in zone 7B? But isn't that beautiful? That is absolutely, and smells so good. And again, I don't use a ton of parsley. Now, I know that you can juice this and obviously dry it. I don't use a ton of parsley, mainly because before I started having a garden, I didn't really buy parsley from the store. I know that you can garnish it like potatoes and stuff like that and put in Italian seasoning. But another thing, what else y'all doing with y'all parsley? So tell me what you're doing with your deal, and tell me what you're doing with your parsley. And I'll take some suggestions. So that opened up that space. I don't know if you can tell. It opened up along the perimeter there, so I can probably put 2 or 3 plants there. I would love to put some peppers, but I don't have any peppers. But of course, we can always go buy some, because all of this in this bed is herbs, and I can add a flower. So I'll probably add maybe I'll add some zinnia and a celosia there. Those are the only flowers I have left. So I think that's what we're gonna do, is actually harvest some snapdragons to take home for a bouquet. This is actually my first time harvesting my snapdragons. So just like last year, I intentionally harvested my herbs because typically I just harvest my vegetables and let everything else go by the wayside and just don't prioritize it. But last year I made a point to harvest my herbs. And so this year I want to make sure that I not only do that, but also harvest my flowers. So it's starting with the snapdragons. Typically the snapdragons, like I said, I'll overwinter them. I'll put them in the ground in September, October. They go dormant over the winter, then they start blooming in like March or April. And usually once the heat comes, they'll start to look bad, and then I take them out. So this is actually my first time. So I looked up how to harvest snapdragons. It said to, cut it above a leaf node and to put it in a bucket of cold water. And so I have a bucket of cold water that I've already gotten before I started picking. So I'm just going through and keeping them long just because I don't know which vase I'm going to put them in. And then of course I can trim them when I get them in the house. And I'm just doing a variety of colors. So these snapdragons are actually from Botanical Interest. I don't remember the name, but they're absolutely stunning. Last year I had more of a red and pink snapdragon, but I really like this mix. It's like it's yellow, it's orange, and pink. It's so pretty. Everybody who comes by comments on how beautiful it is. So I love having snapdragons. It's like a beautiful surprise. It's like the first sign of spring because they are overwintered. So I'm just gathering blooms. I'm going to put them in my bucket, and then I'm going to take them in the house and make a bouquet. If you have some suggestions or tips on snapdragons harvesting, if I did it wrong, or just anything I need to be particularly aware of, please drop them down in the comments and let me know. It's heating up out here. And so I'll put the snapdragons in a bucket of cool water, and I'm going to transport them to the house. But before I do that, I want to show you one more thing. I want to show you some of the first blooms that I've seen out in the garden. Y'all, look at this. My first calendula is blooming. I have one there, another one about to pop there. And then I also have one in the back. So excited for that. Here are marigolds. They are putting on even more blooms and getting big. So pretty. I think this is the colossal bicolor one, if I'm not mistaken. But so very pretty. And then look, y'all, our first tomatoes. That's a cherry tomato forming. So there's like 3 or 4 on the cluster. And we have plenty more flowers. That means tomatoes are on. Y'all, when I see the blooms, it gives me hope. It means that fruit or whatever the crop is on its way. So let that serve. If you don't have your own blooms yet, let my blooms serve as an encouragement to you that just keep going. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged, right? We are all on different timelines, and there's somebody's garden out there who has more blooms than me, and they're harvesting, tomatoes already. That's not going on here, but I know that it is coming because I see the fruit or the flowers that tells me that the harvest is on the way. And the fact that I harvested some other stuff lets me know the more harvest is on the way. So I just want you to be encouraged. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. We harvested a ton of stuff, a ton of carrots, dill, parsley, spinach, and some snapdragons, and we're gonna take in the house and make a pretty bouquet. So thank you guys. And again, I got my seeds or my plants organized, but from the time I started this video to now, I still have not gotten rid of many more of them, but that's okay. The saga continues. But I do have some open spaces that I can go and plant some stuff in. I'll do that probably a different day, but I want to go ahead and get these snapdragons in because the temperature is heating up. Remember, y'all, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.